The opening night was fantastic. You had a lot of drama trying to be built up, especially with the Lakers and LeBron and Bronny playing together. But it started off with a bang with, the Boston Celtics. And the reason why I'm going to start with that one is because you got to give them love for, this year defending their championship, which is extremely difficult. No matter how talented you are, the teams that have been able to repeat and do it multiple times, three-peat like a Chicago Bulls or the late Boston Celtic team or the Los Angeles Lakers, that's extremely difficult because you build yourself up through disappointment of the years in the past where you didn't quite get over the hump. And that takes a lot of energy, mentally and physically. And now you have to try to do it again. You have to give yourself another way to get motivated because you won it once. Golden State Warriors, to be able to do it multiple times. That's extremely difficult. As great as the San Antonio Spurs have been with their 5 titles, they never were able to repeat. And it's a reason why. And the way Boston was able to begin the season against a tough-minded New York Knicks team says a lot. And the reason why is, yes, they're very talented, but look at the makeup of that team. Let's go back a little bit when, this NBA is a copycat league, and we like to say that. When Golden State began to go with the small ball lineup, a lot of threes, the rhetoric you heard was, you can't win shooting all these threes. You can't win until you started to win shooting all these threes. And guess what? Other teams wanted to duplicate or replicate what the Golden State Warriors were doing. The only problem is you didn't have Steph, you didn't have Clay, you didn't have a guy like Draymond Green, who was the spark plug of the team that kind of held everything together. You didn't have a David West. You didn't have Andre Iguodala. You didn't have these kind of guys and players that kind of filled in the roles that made what Steph and Clay did very special. And I kind of see that with the Boston Celtics right now, because what the Boston Celtics have done is built a unit and a team that is very difficult to defend, because you have 5 players on the court, even with Al Horford, that can step out and shoot. So now you're playing in space. But more importantly, you got 5 players that are switchable, that can defend, so you have defensive versatility. And what I mean by that is hard to figure out a mismatch on the court by switching. I see a team that may be able to cause them a little bit of problems is Denver because of Jokic and what he can do in Aaron Gordon, but it's really difficult. Now teams are starting to try to figure out how to emulate what the Boston Celtics are doing, how they are built, how their roster is built. Now, again, you can try to do it, but the talent on that team separates why they're good. But also, being a star in their own role is why they're very successful. Derek White understands his role. Drew Holiday understands his role. Al Horford understands his role. Bench players Peyton Pritchard understands his role. They know that Jalen and Jason are the 2 guys, and everybody else just fills the gap. And because of that, they are an extremely tough team to stop. We saw that last year, how dominant they were during the year. I think we'll see it again this year. And for me, being the avid basketball player, injuries. Hopefully that doesn't play a factor. We saw it begin to hurt Golden State later in their run, whereas early on, it was other teams getting hurt when they were at their peak. Then they had to deal with it on the backside. Hopefully for the Boston Celtics, Kristaps can get back and be back healthy, because you want to see the best teams with the best players play so you can judge your team against that. Check out new episodes of The Jim Jackson Show every Thursday. Watch on the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page. Follow the show on Instagram @Jim Jackson Show, or listen wherever you get your podcasts.